We'll start with an introduction to the PubMed database, what it is, and what is in it. Then we'll explore PubMed together and discover how to accomplish some of the most common tasks of PubMed users. Feel free to follow along. Finally, we'll wrap up with a brief discussion of how to get help in case you get stuck. PubMed is the National Library of Medicine's free, authoritative database of more than 30 million citations to articles in the fields of biomedicine and health, with a specific focus on collecting original scientific research. That was the answer to quiz question number 1. PubMed is a database of citations. PubMed is used by around 2.5 million users each day, including clinicians, researchers, students, and other folks from a variety of fields who need access to authoritative health science research. You can use it to find a specific research article based on some known information, such as finding the original research that prompted a news story, or to find articles written by a particular author. You can also use PubMed to help familiarize yourself with a new topic. And because of its vast scope, you can also use it to dive deep into a wide variety of topics. PubMed is a database of citations, not a database of full-text articles. However, about 2/3 of PubMed citations include links to help access the full text. And if you look at just articles published in the last 10 years, it's closer to 90% that provide full text. Not all of these links are free full text. Some link to the journal publisher, which may require a subscription or one-time fee. When available, PubMed citations link to the full text in PMC, or PubMed Central, which is NLM's free full text repository. And if you're wondering why is that, under the NIH Public Access Policy adopted in 2008, any publications whose research was supported by a National Institutes of Health grant must be made available to the public. We'll talk more about the NIH Public Access Policy and how PubMed works selection. So I have a question for you. If someone asked you if PubMed was a database of free full-text articles, what would you say? Yes or no? Answer in chat. Great, Julie got it first. The answer is no. PubMed is a database of citations to articles. Full text in PubMed is not always free. So we are sharing a fact sheet in the chat box that talks about the relationship between PubMed and PMC. It's also on your handout if you want to learn some more about that. So we've talked a little about what PubMed is, a database of biomedical literature, and what is in it, citations to articles, some free and not free full text. So now let's talk about how we use it. I am just going to pause a moment to see if there were any big questions.
I think we're doing all right, Molly.
Great, thanks, Mike. So one of the most common ways PubMed is used is to find a specific article based on some known information about the article. Say you come across a news article like this one. This is an NPR story reporting on research that shows that the common treatment for asthma may not be as effective as previously believed. Now, fortunately, this article has a convenient link back to the original research, but this is not always the case. It can sometimes be difficult to track back to the original research that's being reported on. We do know a few things. This was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's a recent article, so probably published in 2019, and one of the authors is Stephen Lazarus. Just that little bit of information should be enough for us to find this very easily in PubMed. So let's go into PubMed and see what we find. I'm going to open up a browser go to PubMed.gov and do a PubMed search for this. If you can, open up a browser and work along with me. And we also have a handout that you can follow along with. Okay. So give me a green check when you get to PubMed if you're following along on your own. Great. So one of the key design focuses of PubMed is sensors built into the search box. These sensors analyze your search query and try to detect what exactly it is you're looking for. If we enter the information that we have, the author's last name, Lazarus, the abbreviation for the journal, New England Journal of Medicine, NEJM, and the year, 2019, PubMed citation sensor should detect that we've provided some basic citation information and will help us find the article we're looking for. So if you're following along, type Lazarus NEJM 2019 into the PubMed search box and click search. This is number 1 on your handout. Here's our search results page. As you can see, highlighted in yellow, 3 articles found by citation matching. PubMed's citation sensor uses a fuzzy matching algorithm to find citations that match what we put into the search box. PubMed also does our search normally and gives us an alternative set of results, just in case we weren't actually trying to search for a specific citation. That's why we have 4 results below. Citation sensor can be useful when you put in a topic term that's also the name of a journal, like cancer or virology or gut. The citation sensor will probably suggest some articles from the journal, assuming you're searching for a journal name. However, you also get more search results below in case you were actually searching for articles about something else. We'll look at the rest of what's going on with the search results page later on, but for now, I'm going to click the 3rd results found by citation matching to take a look at this citation in more detail. This is the article's abstract page, which shows a lot more information about the original research article than the citation we saw on the search results page. We have our basic citation info at the top, including the journal, volume, issue number, page numbers, and the date. To the left, we have tags that indicate what type of article the citation is for. In this case, we're looking at a randomized controlled trial. Not every type of article has this tag, but it's meant to highlight commonly looked for publication types such as reviews, clinical trials, or errata. Below that, we have the article title. And immediately to the right of the title, we have full text links. This citation has a link to the publisher's website. It also has a link to PMC, NLM's full text repository. You might also see a link to a library's icon if your library participates in Link Out for libraries using Outside Tool. Below the title, you can see the author information, and there are a lot of them. We can expand the author affiliations and collaborations. Below the authors, you can see the PMID, which is a unique identifier for each citation in PubMed. And this is number 2 on your handout. The PMID, or PubMed Unique Identifier, is the unique identifier for a citation. All citations in PubMed have a PMID. If you have a PMID, you can always find a citation by typing it into the search box and clicking search. So below that, we have the abstract, which tells you what the article is about. I also want to point out over here on the far right side are links to page navigation. You can click on any of these to jump to that part of the abstract. As we scroll even further down, you'll see some additional information that's added by NLM. Most of these are connections or links to other articles in PubMed or to information in other NLM databases. Similar articles is an algorithmically generated list of other PubMed citations similar to the one you're looking at. There could also be a list of articles in PubMed Central that cite the article. So we have a link that discusses how PubMed identifies similar articles, which is also on the handout, in case you're interested in learning more about that. Now I'm going to scroll back up. I want to draw your attention again to page navigation and ask you, what other interesting things do you see here in the abstract view? What's useful for you in the abstract view? Tell me in chat. Mesh terms and similar articles, great. Grant supported, yes, you can see the grant supports. Associated data, that's also a great one if you're looking for links to clinical trials. Sometimes you'll see data sets in there. Great. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of added information in the abstract view. So now we've looked at how to search PubMed for the original research, that is the basis for a news article. We searched the author name, journal, and date, and PubMed's citation sensor analyzed our query to produce what we were looking for. This is an example of how PubMed works. So how is everyone feeling so far? What questions do you have?
Doesn't seem like we have anything at the moment, but I'll keep you posted.
Wonderful. Okay. So with that, I'm going to click on the PubMed logo on the top left of the top of the screen to go back to the PubMed homepage. That is always a way out. Let's look at another way to search PubMed, author searching. One of the most frequent tasks users do in PubMed is searching for an author to try and find all of the publications by that author. Searching author can be tricky in PubMed, as it can be in other databases. Multiple authors might have the same name, or one author might publish under different names. There are a few techniques you can use to help ensure that you find articles by the author you're looking for and not a different author with a similar name. The most effective way to search for an author is to search for the author's last name and initials. No need to tag, capitalize, punctuate, just the last name, then a space, then the initials. For example, if you were looking for articles by Francis Collins, the director of the National Institutes of Health, you would search Collins F. And we recommend this instead of searching for the author's full last and first names. Not all PubMed records include full author names, so searching with a last and first name might miss results where only the initials were provided. So if you're following along in your handout, we're going to go ahead and type Collins F into the search box and click search. This is the recommended way to search for an author in PubMed, last name and initials. As you can see in the results, we have a number of articles by F. Collins. In the summary view, which is what we're looking at right here, PubMed will try to highlight your search terms where they appear. In this case, Collins FS appears among the authors of a number of these results. We won't know for a fact that the Collins FS on any of these records actually refer to Francis S. Collins, or that they specifically refer to the Francis S. Collins who is NIH director, without taking a look at the individual records. So let's do that. We can click on one of these results to see if this is the right Dr. Collins. And I'm going to recommend that you click on result number 6. Now we're once again looking at the abstract view. Text chat me the answer, where could I go to find out if this is the right Dr. Collins? Where could I find that on this page? There you go, you got it. The affiliations. If you expand the affiliations, you can see the author's institutional connections. So great. Oftentimes, you might want to get all publications from the same author at the same institution. This is quite easy to do, actually. Just click the author's name, in this case, Dr. Collins, and watch how PubMed works. We see a list of articles from Dr. Collins, and notice at the top of the page, highlighted in yellow, results are displayed in a computed author sort order. So what is that? Computed author sort uses an algorithm based on patterns in authorship to identify other articles where an author with the same name is actually the same author. It means that articles most likely to be by the author you clicked show up at the top. So this also explains why a new initiative on precision medicine is a result. So as you can see, if you scroll through these results, the algorithm found articles by Collins FS, but also by Collins F. Computed author sort helps you find articles by the same author, even if they aren't publishing under the exact same name. Computed author sort also takes advantage of ORCID identifiers, when present, to help sort multiple authors with the same name. Has anybody heard of ORCID? Give me a check or X if you have or have not. So it looks like a few folks have heard of ORCID. So ORCID identifiers are a small but rapidly increasing number of PubMed records. Authors can create an ORCID and submit it to the journal with their paper. And then publishers can send the ORCID along to PubMed with the rest of the citation data. Then more ORCID information in PubMed helps make these efforts to differentiate between author with the same name more effective. So the point here is, if you are an author, work with authors, expect to become an author in the future, help us get more ORCID identifiers into PubMed by creating an identifier for yourself and making sure you attach it when you submit to publishers. And this is a bonus question on the handout. Getting an ORCID helps PubMed differentiate between authors with the same name more effectively. Okay, so the bottom line, to get everything by a particular author, pull up any article in abstract view and click on the author's name. PubMed searches for articles with the same author name and clusters at the top of your results the articles that the algorithm has determined are likely by the same author. That's how computed author sort works. So I'm going to pause a moment for questions.
I think we're mostly covered. There was a couple of questions about the computed author sort, but I think you might have just answered them. If not, I will collect them and flag them for you next time.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so we've looked at 2 ways to search for authors. And again, that was doing the recommended way, the last name as initials, and also by looking at the abstract view and clicking on an author's name to do the computed author sort. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about subject searching. So let's click on the PubMed.gov logo at the top of the results page to get back to the home page. Another common use case for PubMed is trying to search for articles on a specific topic. Maybe it's a topic that you don't know much about. Maybe you're doing a deeper dive into a particular topic. PubMed has a few features that, when put together, make it easy for you to just type what you're looking for in the search box and get back the results you need. One of them is something we call Best Match. Best Match is a machine learning algorithm that matches your search terms to the PubMed records in your results based on the article title, subject terms, and abstract, and then displays them, ranking them with the most relevant citations appearing at the top. This is number 5 in your handout. Best Match is a machine learning algorithm that matches your search terms to the PubMed records in your results based on the article title, subject terms, and abstract. We have a link to a page that explains the algorithm behind the Best Match ranking, which is also on your handout if you'd like to learn more about that. The idea is similar to other search engines. Based on analytics and usage statistics, it's clear that the overwhelming majority of users only look at the first few results of their search and rarely, if ever, go past the first page. One of our goals for PubMed is to make sure the best, most relevant, and current research shows up right at the top. On top of this, the PubMed search engine for many years has developed to take simple queries and translate them into more elaborate, comprehensive searches. The goal is that you can just type in what you're looking for, and PubMed will make sure you get what you need. Additionally, PubMed has tools specifically designed to let you do a broad search and to then further refine your search to focus on just the results you need. So with all of this going on in the background, we can just type our topic into the search box and click search. So I am going to search number 6 on your handout, acid reflux. I don't need to worry about punctuation, capitalization, or Boolean operators. I don't even need to know the proper scientific name for acid reflux. Just put it in and click search. That basic search gave us a bunch of search results. Because we have a good number of results, we can take this opportunity to take a longer look at some of the features on the search results page. So in the center of the page, we have the list of results. As before, we're just seeing the summary of each result, which includes some key information about each article. The title and citation information are displayed, including the PMID, and a portion of the abstract is shown with your search terms highlighted. Notice that there are some words here that are highlighted even though we didn't search for them. We'll get to why that is in a minute. But first, I want to talk about all the great ways to repurpose these results. Each result has a Cite button, which lets you grab a properly formatted citation in the citation format of your choice, to copy and paste or download to your computer to be or you can download to your computer and import it into your citation management software. You can also save multiple citations to your computer using the Save button at the top of the page. You can mark the citations you want to save by clicking the checkbox next to them. And then save and download these citations in a variety of formats. You can also opt to download the entire results set at once. Be aware that this can result in some very large files. You can email results as well to yourself or someone else using the email button at the top of the page. And another thing that you can do at the top of the page is create an alert. You can save a search and PubMed will automatically email you new results for your search query as they become available. You do need a free My NCBI account in order to set up alerts. If you don't have a My NCBI account, we encourage you to get one because in addition to creating alerts, My NCBI gives you access to additional customization options and lets you save collections of citations to share with others. So if you're following along on the handout, this is the answer to number 7, 4 ways to share results: cite, save, email, and create alert. I'm going to pause a moment.
Jackie had a question about the Cite button. Is the APA style reflected the 6th or 7th edition?
It would be the 7th edition.
And Catherine asks, we lost the reference management software output with the change to the new version, correct?
I don't think that's correct. I believe you can still download by using the RIS format. And it's under Save. Save format RIS will get you that.
And Bridget asks, what about saving citations on a clipboard? So if you could show that again.
Sure. Okay, I need to be logged into my NCBI, I think. No, I don't. Let's see.
The ... right?
The ... Yes, thank you.
It's a tricky naming thing because it's not saving the citations to the clipboard, it's sending them to the clipboard.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because when you save items to the clipboard, it creates a page in PubMed, but also it will also appear in your results. Once you save items to a clipboard, your clipboard will appear, and these will remain here on your browser for 8 hours.
I think that's all we got for now.
Great. All right, let me get back to where I was. All right, so cite, save, email, create alert, and clipboard. Ways to share. I'd like to talk a bit now about how to narrow these results to a more specific subset. We have a nice healthy number right here, so let's play around with some of these filters on the left-hand side of the screen. At the top of the filters menu is the results by year graph. This provides a nice way to visualize trends in research, as you can see when publications on a particular topic increase or decrease over time. To make using the results by year graph a little easier, you can expand it by clicking the expand icon, the square with the two inward pointing arrows or outward pointing arrows. You can also use the graph to filter your results based on publication date by dragging the handles. So I invite you to try this. Use the date slider to limit your acid reflux results to a date or date range that's meaningful to you. How many results do you retrieve? You don't have to tell us. I'm just trying to make it fun and relevant and demonstrate the sliding menu bar. I'm going to shrink the slider now by clicking these arrows again. And let's see, I'll do a nice date range there for myself. We won't make it past 10 years. We'll make it past 13 years. All right. Okay, so that's the date slider. If you keep going down, there's a text availability. By selecting one of these checkboxes, you can restrict your search results to only articles with links to full text or even free full text. So if you're following along, go ahead and choose a text availability and see how your results are going then. If we continue down, notice we have the article type. Article type filters restrict your results to only articles of a certain type. These are also called study type filters that can help you find styles and approaches to research. For example, if you're looking for something to just familiarize yourself with a topic, you can restrict your search to just reviews by clicking the review checkbox. Finally, all the way down at the bottom, you have a button here for additional filters. If you don't see the article type you want to filter to, you can add it here. Just going to add a few more. You can add a number of other filters here too. Once you've selected and added the additional filters, they'll become available for you to use in the sidebar to limit to your results. So let me ask you this: what other filters are interesting to you from this menu? Language. Yes, that's a good one, Jeff. Journals, age. Yes. All of those additional filters, remember, at the bottom of that left filter menu under additional filters, and you can choose a variety of other filters here. Final thing I want to say about this is you can always clear your filters or reset them at the top of the page or the side menu. As you are conducting multiple searches, if you have filters applied, they will stick. So just remember, you can clear those filters at the top of the search results page. I'm going to clear those filters that I applied to our acid reflux search. Okay. So there's another feature I want to show you, which is the advanced search page. First, though, I'm going to pause for questions before we move on.
All right, a couple of quick things that came up. somebody was asking, and you may have said this, and they and I both might have missed this. I was asking about custom filters set up in the legacy PubMed if they can be accessed from the new PubMed.
I think the answer for that is stay tuned.
Yeah, and also what filters are available, which should be most of the custom ones would show up in the My NCBI filters if you were logged in, right at the top of that list. Once you log in on the left side there, yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's see. We can look at that.
There should be some in there.
Let's see, dashboard. It'd be this one.
Actually, if you just go back out to your new PubMed, you can see some of the filters are already actually showing up there.
Oh, okay.
Right there in the My NCBI.
Yes, here we go.
Those may be preset ones, but you can also, that's where they will show up if you have them configured. Another question from Carrie, do all 30 million articles have an article type assigned? If I can handle that one if you
I have a ... on that, so yeah.
Sure. So yes, all 30 million articles have an article type assigned, but it may just be a journal article, which is sort of the default if there's no other article type assigned. So if you, so that's sort of the answer. They will all have something, but not necessarily anything more informative than that. Beyond that, I think we have a couple more questions here, but I will hold off on them for now and let you move on to advanced search.
Sounds good. Okay, so advanced search builder and history. Both of these are on the advanced search page, which is what I'm going to talk about now. You can find the advanced search builder using the advanced link underneath the search bar on the home page or any other PubMed page. The advanced search page allows you to search specific fields and build more complex searches. One way that you can use the advanced search builder is to find articles from a specific journal, even if you're unsure of the journal's exact name. So we're going to try this now. It's number 8 on your handout. By using the field selector to select a journal. So we're going to go to the field selector and we're going to scroll down to journal. Notice there's a number of other fields you can choose from here. And I'm going to start typing in what I think is the journal's name, New England. So notice here, if I just started typing in New England Journal of Medicine, you'll see that the proper name for the journal is the New England Journal of Medicine. So you can click on that to add it to your search. There's 2 things that you can do here. You can just add it to your query box, or you can use Boolean connectors. I'm going to just add it to the query box. Now, once you have this in the query box, you can click search, which will execute a search and show you a list of search results. Or you can add it to search history. This is kind of a cool trick if you don't want to go immediately to that search results page. So notice I had it in here. I said add to history, and now it's down under my history and search details. Here's my journal, and if I wanted to look at the results, I could do that here. Say I wanted to look for a particular author in that journal, you could combine them here, doing something like that. So let me talk about search history for a minute, because it's one of the 2 other useful features on this page, history and search details, down at the bottom. History keeps track of what searches you've run and lets you jump back to the results for any of those searches. So do you see our search for acid reflux? Give me a check or an Give me a check if you locate that on your search, on the search results page. Great. Yes, here it is. Our search for acid reflux is right here. Notice we have all of these other searches where we were putting our filters in there. You might see stuff like that, as well as the author searches we did previously. So the search history keeps track of your searches, but you can also view here search details, which shows you how PubMed is interpreting your search using automatic term mapping. Notice you have this column here, details. If I click this caret menu, I can expand and see my search details. For our acid reflux example, you can see that PubMed is actually searching for the term gastroesophageal reflux. What this means is, even if we don't know the medical term for acid reflux is actually gastroesophageal reflux, PubMed knows what we're looking for, and will search for citations with that term. Notice PubMed also searches for our original search term, acid reflux. And this is why on the search results page, in those abstract snippets, we saw acid reflux bolded, but we also saw gastroesophageal reflux bolded. In both of those snippets, our search terms appear in bold. Our search terms included acid reflux, which we typed in, but also included gastroesophageal reflux thanks to automatic term mapping. So if you're following along on the handout, now I'd like you to try this by searching the term nosebleed and tell me what it maps to in the search details. You're following along. Oh, Julie, you got it. Epistaxis, okay, yes, great job. So I searched nosebleed, added it to my query box, and then I added it to the history, which put it down here under the history and search details. If I expand my search details, I can then see that my term nosebleed mapped to epistaxis. It also searched epistaxis in all fields, as well as our original term nosebleed. So when you think about how PubMed works, know that your search terms were interpreted by PubMed using automatic term mapping, and you can see how that worked and even change it in the search details on PubMed's advanced search screen. So the bottom line here is look at the search details on advanced search to see how PubMed works on your search. Going to pause a moment for questions. I see the first, okay, Monica answered Roseanne's question. What is a mesh term, medical subject heading?
I think we're mostly caught up. There was a couple of more specific questions that I took care of, but that were maybe not, it didn't need to be broadly addressed, but I think we're okay for the moment.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to now click on PubMed.gov, which is only on the advanced search screen, located on the right side of the screen. And that's going to take me back to that clean page, that clean PubMed homepage. You can always click on the PubMed.gov logo to go back to this calm homepage. Before we wrap up, I want to show you two more things from PubMed.gov that are below the fold, meaning you might have to scroll down. Here you can learn, find, download, and explore PubMed. You can learn from the FAQ and user guide, which is comprehensive and answers many questions you may have. You can also find advanced search and other beloved PubMed features. You can download data using the eUtilities API. And you can explore further NLM databases like MeSH and journals. And if you go even further down, you'll see the trending articles section on the left. Just like Twitter and other social media trending features, this section highlights articles that have a recent uptick in activity. It showcases articles that aren't necessarily the newest, but have had a sudden increase in interest. There can also be articles that have been in the news recently or have gone viral in some way or another. And one time this is interesting to check out is right after the Nobel Prize has been announced, because old papers by the winners often pop up in trending articles. You can also see latest news articles from the latest literature on the other side. I do want to take a moment to talk about getting help. PubMed should meet most of your needs just by using it the way I've shown today. But for search and specialized research, you might need a little help. Down on the bottom of every page in PubMed is a link to the Support Center, where you can write to the NLM Help Desk. Right up here, write to the Help Desk. If you encounter something that isn't working, the Help Desk can also report issues to the PubMed development team. And if all of this is a little overwhelming to you, maybe you should ask a librarian. Medical and health sciences librarians are often PubMed expert searchers, and they can help you find what you need. They can help you access the full text of articles through their institutional subscriptions and other services. The bottom line is you can find answers about all of NLM's products and services through the Support Center. There we go. So today we've covered a lot of things: finding a known item, finding works from just one author, and finding, filtering, and repurposing results. So there's two things I hope you take away today. Number one, let PubMed do the work. Just type your search terms into the search box and click search. Nothing fancy. Number two, check the advanced search and search details to see how PubMed worked. You can modify and build your search here too. If you keep these two things in mind, you'll get the most out of PubMed has to offer. That's how PubMed works. So at this point, we have reached our preliminary final round of questions. So I'm going to pause for a moment.
All right, I'm going to have you answer the hard one. Jeff asked, when does the choice between legacy and new PubMed go away?
Well, the new PubMed is under active development, and features will be introduced and updated on a regular basis. The best thing to do is watch the NLM technical bulletin for official announcements of timetables.
And start using the new one now because it's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let me just see here. There was a few other questions. I'm just looking through here. I think I got a lot of them. Somebody was asking, there's a couple people asking again about where you can access your clipboard once you put stuff on it. So if you could show people that one more time, that might be useful.
Okay. I'm going to hop back to my advanced search page so I can get to a list of results. Notice here underneath the search box, since I've added items to a clipboard, I get a link to the clipboard. I'm going to click on the clipboard and remove everything. Great, thank you. Go away. Now I'm going to go back to my search one more time. Notice now I don't have a clipboard because I removed all of my results. I'm going to add these two using the ... menu to my clipboard. And now I have these two items appearing here. So yes, to add items to your clipboard, use that three-dot menu and send it to the clipboard, and it will appear here, and it will sit there for you for 8 hours.
There was a question about, somebody was asking, the other 3 classes in the series are closed to registration. Will they reopen, or where will they be available to watch? And will these sessions be recorded for later viewing?
These sessions will be recorded for later viewing. We have a June round of How PubMed Works open now. I am not sure how close they are to filling, but they will be in the month of June. And we expect to have a recording of this session hopefully up in the next 2 weeks or so, and we'll send out information about that to registrants and probably announce it through the regional medical libraries of the NNLM as well. I see Deborah, how do you search for a custom date like last 2 years? You can use the results slider menu to do that. And if I shrink this back, it now tells me I've done it from 2018 to 2020 for those results here. Publication date does also have some basic ones, some commonly used ones available there too.
And let's see, a couple of other questions. A couple of people asking, what is Deep Blue? I think it's just an old custom filter that we had set up for some link out demonstration that's attached to this training account. So don't read too much into it. It's just, I think it might be associated with the University of Michigan. Anyway, it's just a custom filter that we have set up. So sorry about that one. That one's on me for recommending you turn them on.
I actually have something I want to pitch back to you,
Sure.
A private question. Is ORCID searchable in PubMed?
Yes. ORCID is searchable in PubMed. Basically, if you just put in the ORCID ID without tags, it will probably do a pretty good job of finding what you're looking for if you have an ORCID off the top of your head. That's not always a super foolproof way of searching people just yet, because a lot of authors have them applied inconsistently, or not every publisher sends them, or not every publisher accepts them. We encourage people to put them in more and more so that we can sort of recommend that as a good searching technique. But the ORCID IDs also help fuel that computed author search or sort. So that's another reason to do that, to sort of encourage users to do that.
This is Rebecca. Can I add a couple of things to that?
Sure.
Or at least one. Molly, under advanced search, they can go to author ID, and that would be author identifier. That would be, and you can type in a 0 there, for example, and then do show index.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
And these are, yeah.
Not all of these are ORCIDs, or ORCIDs, but
yeah. So that's
and
that.
Some of them may have been ORCIDs that weren't properly entered. That data is not QC'd by NLM. We accept what we get from the publisher. So.
And the other thing I wanted to add about searching by date or publication date is some people do like to be more granular. So if you go to advanced again and go to date publication, I think this is right, there you can do more granular with a month and a day, month, day, year.
Oh, reversal. Yeah, so there you go.
And I would also say that yeah, that is a much more reliable way. Even in the old PubMed where you could do last 2 years, doing specific date ranges is always a much more reliable and repeatable way to do date searches anyway, because the last 2 years is it calendar years? Is it 365 times 2 days? There's a lot of sort of fungibility in there. So using these more sort of precise methods are generally better for searching anyway.
Yeah, you can see that there with a little bit of, great. I see Julie asks if once you switch your O tool, it works in only one place, right?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think the answer is yes, but I wanted to confirm.
I think that that's right too, but I am not 100% sure on that one actually.
The best place to find information about link out for libraries using OTool is the technical bulletin, and we can share that link in the chat box for you. Just I need to dig it out.
All right, I have one more. Ariel asked me this question a couple of times about the associated data filter. And I actually have a technical bulletin article that I'm going to throw in the chat box as well, which is where we sort of, when we were developing the new PubMed in what was previously known as PubMed Labs, the associated data, there was another question about this as well. The associated data is what was previously known as the secondary source IDs in the legacy PubMed. It's now called associated data, which is a little bit clearer, hopefully. And the filter, which is in the left sidebar for associated data, will allow you to filter for only articles that have associated data on them. I think that's correct. So hopefully that's correct. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
I think we got most of it, but if there's other questions. Oh.
Yeah, if there's other questions, keep them coming. I think we might be ready to move on.
Oh, we have access to 2 institutions. Can we access 2 OTools? Yes, I believe that is one of the new benefits of the new PubMed. Again, I don't have the exact method on that on me. So, but yes, I believe that is one of the new features. And again, there should be more information about that in documentation.
Oh, Christine is asking, can you edit those search details to run them again without search and field? Okay, so can you edit that? Let's see. You can certainly add anything from your search history to the query box and then modify it as you see fit.
Yeah, but the actual search details, no, this was asked a couple of times in chat and we addressed it as well. You can't edit the search details. Once you do the little drop down to expose the details, you can highlight them and copy them and paste them and then edit them. But there's no way to edit them in line there.
Okay, so now I am going to open up our post-test so we can see what we learned today. Take a minute to fill that out. Take a few more seconds to finish your poll. Okay, so hopefully you can see the answers to our post-test as well as how we did. So number one, PubMed is a database of citations. Number two, you can do the following things on the PubMed Advanced Search page. Check all that apply. You can view the search history, search for a specific journal, and see how PubMed translated your search. And computed author sort is something that you can execute off of an abstract view by clicking on an author's name. Number three, according to the National Library of Medicine, which is the best choice for an initial PubMed search? The answer is C, measles outbreaks United States. No need for punctuation, capitalization, or Boolean operators. Just type your search terms into the search box and click search. Now, before we wrap up, I want to tell you that if you teach PubMed, we have some resources available. The new PubMed Trainers Toolkit includes webinars, slide decks, and quick tours that you can use that were built and vetted by experts at NLM. We give these to you so you can be confident that you are giving your learners accurate information about how PubMed works. And if seeing the word SCORM makes you super excited, go ahead and check these out. These are embeddable in your learning management system. Sorry, I'm laughing at Julie's comments. That's a great idea, student-facing video of 5 minutes or less. Can we crowdsource that? Oh, you're right. Yes, under Quick Tours. That's right. Quick Tours does have 5 minutes or less introductions in MP4, so great. Okay, well, we hope that you've enjoyed this class today, and you can join us for the rest of the series. Now, we realize that due to overwhelming popularity, it may be challenging for you to join the rest of the series. We do have some slots open in June for our next round, and we will have recordings of these training sessions available in the coming weeks. Rebecca has put a link to the evaluation in the chat box. If you would like to claim MLA CE credit, click on that link. If you're wondering what is MLA CE credit, et cetera, you can get information about that on our evaluation form, as well as the code to cash in. So once again, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today for How PubMed Works Introduction. Remember that for greater knowledge on more subjects, use your library more often. Thank you. We'll stay on the line for a few moments if you do have remaining questions. Have a great day.